what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Bad Flashes. Good to see you. You look healthy. I'm glad. Today, we're gonna be hanging out with my little road warrior and our lovely friend, Mr. Joey, who you'll know from the podcast Be Positive, Shoot Negative, where he interviews a bunch of different film photographers. You should check it out. It's a great podcast. It might be on there. And while you're there checking out his podcast, you should also just give him a little golf clap, because this episode is kind of in a way sponsored by him. Out of the goodness of his heart, he gave Mr. Grainy Days and I each a roll of expired Fujifilm NPZ 800. And after seeing a few images off of one of those rolls he took, yeah, I wasn't gonna pass that up. And if you know anything about me, you know, I like me some expired film. And since most Fujifilms are becoming extinct, I had to take them up on that offer. So the three of us grabbed our magic wands and hit the town of Hollyweird. But first, we had to find something to eat. And hot chicken was the perfect meal. I mean, until later, when your insides don't like hot chicken sometimes. Woo! Since this film expired in 2005, I decided to set my ISO to 320 when metering my shots. Locked and loaded.
Joey! This is Pentax!
So here's a micro history lesson on NPZ for you. Fujifilm's NPZ 800 was introduced in 2002 as part of their NP lineup of films. They definitely had Kodak in their crosshairs. Later, they ended up renaming the entire line, dropping the NP in favor of 800Z. That kind of fell in line with the naming conventions they were going with their Pro lineup of films. Kind of like Pro 400H. I guess you didn't need the NP after all. One thing to keep in mind when you're shooting expired film, and especially high-speed film, is that the grain can be very pronounced, which is definitely the case with this film, which is completely fine for me because grain is good. But you can really see the difference compared to shots taken on Portra 800 that same day. Now this film did great with a lot of light. Now, that's a different story for the shadows. I lost detail real fast. And recovering them, not really an option. Which really brings me to a big question. Why shoot expired film? But before we go on, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online community that can offer you a ton of different classes. Classes that can help you open up your mind to new creative endeavors. They have tons of classes to choose from. You will be hard pressed not to find a class you want to take. The next class on my list to take is by Neil Schwab about the basics of book design. Since I'm in the middle of creating my own photo book, this class will definitely come in handy. And the great thing is that there are no ads, so your creative juices can continue to flow without any interruptions. I mean, sure, you could watch Netflix, but wouldn't you rather learn something? For the first 1,000 people who use the link in the description below, will receive 1 month trial to Skillshare's premium membership. So what are you waiting for? Let's go learn stuff together. Okay, let's get back to expired film. This is precarious.
Don't advise.
Jason's butt.
So you shot yours at 300?
Yeah, I'm going between 250 and 320.
Overall, expired film is a mixed bag. It could be good. And it could be bad, like real bad. It really just depends on how it was stored, and that can be a crapshoot. For me, all I can say is I enjoy shooting ghosts of stocks past, to be able to say that I did, and to see if it holds up still. But I gotta say, I do have a limit. If expired film gets too expensive, I don't think it's worth it. Film's already expensive, so why spend more on something that could not turn out? And at the end of the day, if perfection is what you're chasing, expired film won't get you there. You just gotta take expired film with a grain of, well, grain, I guess. This actually brings me to a project that I have going on. I've been taking old 120 film boxes and digitizing them and recreating them in the computer in 3D. Mostly I want to preserve what the packaging looks like from those past decades. It's really hard to find accurate representations of the packaging in that time frame. So if you have expired boxes that you would like to donate to the cause, I'd gladly take them. Hit me up, information's down there. Well, thanks for joining this episode. I had a lot of fun, and thanks to Joey for hooking us up with some NPZ. I just love shooting some expired stuff. It's just fun. It's just fun to see. You know what's even funner? It's just hanging out with friends and taking photos. Why did my voice go that high? I don't know. It just goes up there sometimes. That'll do it for today's episode. Next time, we party. And we party hard. Okay,